Hey, how's it going? It's Wednesday night, October the 8th, and I just want to do a quick video on nervousness. Let's talk a little bit about that for a second. Now, whenever you get ready to DJ a big wedding, or maybe you're DJing a party or a school dance, something like that, do you get nervous before the dance? I mean, I'm not talking about like panicking or anything like that. I'm talking about a little bit nervous, maybe a little bit concerned. Well, let me tell you, if you're not, there's something wrong with that. Okay, and let me try to illustrate this out for you. Nervousness is not necessarily a bad thing because when you're nervous about something, you're actually going to do your best work because it really shows that you care about what the client wants and it shows that you really are going to put a lot of thought into what you're doing and you're going to be more attentive to what you're doing. Let me give you a little illustration on that, okay? Now, this morning, think about this. When you headed off to work or to school or wherever you have to go, when you're out driving your car, were you paying 100% attention to the road? No, probably not. Most of us don't. You're probably playing with the radio, maybe finding a CD, or possibly talking on your cell phone, or maybe even holding your video camera because we all do that. Okay, I've seen some of you guys do that before. So probably not paying 100% attention to the road. Most of us probably pay 95, 96% attention to the road. Maybe you ran through the drive-through at McDonald's on your way to work and was maybe eating a sausage biscuit on your way in or something like that. But now let me ask you this, okay? Let's say that I own an insurance company and you're one of my policyholders and you got your car insurance registered through me. Well, let's say at midnight tonight, I go to your house and I place a little notice underneath your windshield wiper and it says that your auto insurance is canceled effective immediately. Now, tomorrow morning when you wake up and you see that notice underneath your windshield wiper, are you going to pay 100% attention to the road then? Are you going to be a lot more careful driving tomorrow as you were, more than you were today? Yeah, you probably are. You know why? Because you know you don't have insurance, and you know you're not covered if something happens, and you're nervous about getting from point A to point B because you're scared of getting into a wreck. Now, see, before you have that insurance, and it probably does concern you a little bit about getting into a wreck, but you're not as concerned about it because you have the insurance. You know you have that coverage in case something does happen. But now you don't have that coverage. So what's going to happen? Well, what's going to happen is you know for a fact you don't have coverage, insurance coverage. So you're going to drive a lot more carefully today to avoid being in an accident. You're going to make sure you pay 100% attention to that road. You're probably not going to be playing with the radio. You're probably not going to be talking on the phone or anything like that. You're going to be making sure that you pay attention to the road so that you can get to work safely and that you don't rear end somebody or something like that. Because if you do, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Okay, well, same thing with a mobile DJ gig when you think about that for a second. When you're nervous, you're going to do your best work. You're going to be a lot more attentive on what you do and things like that. Now, I'm not saying you need to be scared to death when you do a gig, but being a little bit nervous and being a little bit concerned, that's a good thing. And do I get nervous? Yeah, I get a little bit nervous when it comes time to do a wedding, especially when it comes time to announce a wedding party, because I want to make sure that I've got their names down correctly. I want to make sure I've got all the songs they want. I want to make sure that everything's running right. And I think about that. And usually the first half of the reception, during the wedding party introductions, the first dances, the cake cutting, want to make sure that all that stuff's lined up. Now, once we get to the regular dancing, the open dancing portion of the evening, then I've become a little bit more laid back, I guess you could say, because then it's all downhill from there. Okay, you play the music to get people dancing, but you want to make sure you get people's names right. That's the most important thing. You want to make sure you got all the songs of the first dance and everything like that. Because I've never done this before, but can you imagine what it would be like if you got ready to do the bride and groom's first dance and you didn't have their song? I mean, think about that. I've never done that before, but I've heard of other DJs doing that. And I can only imagine what that would be like. And imagine you're not in a hot spot to where you can download it on the internet or anything like that. So what would you do? Those are things you got to really think about. That's why I take two computers with me, because I've got the assurance of knowing that if one of my computers locks up, I can immediately go to the next one. And I've got everything ready to go there. That's why I type everything up on a nice planner. I showed you one of those in the video. And I check that, I double check that, and I triple check that before I go out and do a wedding. And I send that to the bride and groom, and I have them look it over and double check it and triple check it. So we make sure that everything is prepared by the time the wedding rolls around. But do I still get nervous? Well, yeah, I still get nervous about that. But it's not because I'm not prepared. It's just that I want to make sure that I do a good job. And again, when you're nervous, you're going to do a good job. Just like the illustration I gave you with the car insurance. So yeah, don't feel bad if you're nervous or anything like that. The best way to combat that is just to realize that you've done the best you can and that you're prepared and you're going to go out and hit a homer and knock it out of the park, okay? That's the best advice I can give you as far as that goes. But yeah, nervousness is a natural thing. I'm sure you probably asked Brian or Jonathan. I'm sure they probably still get nervous from time to time when it comes to wedding receptions and things like that. It's just natural. It's just human nature. So yeah, don't feel bad if you're nervous. But the best way to do that is always just make sure you're prepared. And if you're prepared, you're going to do a good job. I guarantee it. And just I wanted to share something with you real quick. Just last night, a matter of fact, for that wedding that you saw at the beach, you'll probably look through some of my videos. You'll see that's in two parts. The wedding I did at the beach. Well, I got a nice email from the bride yesterday saying that I did a wonderful job and that she was really satisfied with my services and said that if she ever needs a DJ, that she'll definitely call me back, and said that I went well above and beyond what she ever expected from a DJ. And see, those are the things you want to hear, and that's what it's all about. And why did I do that? Well, because I really care about the client, and I made sure that their wishes were carried out. And that's what you got to do. I mean, as long as you're doing that, it's all going to work out great. Okay? If you have any questions or concerns or anything like that, just feel free to email me, sndjentinc at AOL.com, or just drop a comment right down below, and we'll talk about it, or maybe make a video response. It's a pretty good topic, and I know a lot of folks struggle with this from time to time. But being nervous, it's not a bad thing. It can actually help you out. Practice and enjoy.